Yeah. We put in work and here's the proof. What you want?
I'm making moves, punching in.
I'm on it too.
I'm in the gym.
I'm in the stew.
It's hunting season.
Where's the food?
We push each other daily, level up.
Cause that's what brothers do.
Clock in.
Good? I'm good. Yep. I'm ready, man.
Get it. 9 o'clock. Yeah. You ready?
We live.
Yeah.
Clock in. Clock in.
Yeah.
Clock in.
Friday Night Live, man.
Yes, sir. It's a nice vibe, man.
Beautiful
Nice
vibe.
outside. Warm. Got my ankles out.
It is ankle sock season.
Yeah, man. I put the right amount of lotion on. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't bring the ankle socks out.
Smart.
I don't trust the amount of lotion I put on my ankles out of the shower, you know what I'm saying, today.
Yeah, that's
So
tough.
the shower, you may put the right amount, but ankles may be still
You
wet.
still gotta, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I feel it. This is
man.
when you got a darker pigment. You know what I'm saying? Things you gotta worry about. But man, yeah, we here. Man.
Clock in.
How you feeling?
Man, I feel
Clock
good,
in.
man. We'll get into my interesting week, but feel as good as I felt all week. But man, it's a great vibe. We got a nice little audience here, nice little ambiance.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
This is
sir.
our second time recording on a Friday. We might make this right in our mind. Summer about to be out there, like we're not about to do this on the regular, but every now and then it may be good to switch it up.
Yes, sir.
But co-host here, Marshall Hamilton.
Austin Hamilton, co-host, Clocking the Podcast, episode 38.
38.
38.
38.
Yeah, man. 38 of them things. I
Almost
don't
done
know.
with season 2, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. Went by fast.
This one really went by fast.
Went by fast. But definitely a great season so far. We got a couple more, but yeah, man, appreciate you all tuning in. And I've had a lot of like close personal friends like send me little Snapchats or pictures of them like watching the YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to Nico for all his hard work.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, man, it's cool. Like people when they tap in and they actually listen and watch, they're hooked.
They have never gotten any
They're
bad
hooked.
feedback.
They're hooked. So yeah, I would encourage all y'all, man. Pass it along. You know, tell your friends, tell your mom. You know, tell your network because we got something special, and you know, we're gonna keep it going.
Yeah, always,
Keep it
man.
going.
Always. Got to shape up today.
You got to shape
You know
up
what I'm
last
saying?
week.
I had to bring it back. Bring it back. Had to bring it back, man.
People in the audience are like, this guy.
Summer. Well, not really. I got you. I'm yeah, it's gonna be a different summer for me. That's all I'm saying. So,
Yeah, we'll get into that. Season 3.
Yeah, man, that's a season 3.
Season 3, man.
Topic for sure. But look, let's talk about who's here, man. We got the usual Russell in the building. Neek in the building. We gotta get Nip a drop, but
Yeah,
America's favorite pet,
Yeah, we do.
top podcast pet, Nip in the building, and some new regulars. We got Andrew and Katie in the building. Shout out to KCQ Marketing and what they're doing. Hey man, vote for Andrew. I think it might be too late, but still vote for him. All right. If you didn't vote for him online, vote for him in your heart. Follow him. Nico. Will
When is that up, Andrew?
Tonight.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be too late because this episode's gonna come out on Tuesday. But
Well, I'm claiming the victory, man.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
claiming the victory.
yeah, we speaking into existence. But regardless, follow him on IG. We'll have Nick put his IG up there. Him and Katie have been responsible for all the great content that has been coming out the last 3 weeks. So once again, man, it's all about putting the right team together. People that you like. You know what I mean?
I didn't like him, man. Y'all wouldn't be here.
After last episode, I don't know how I feel about Katie. No, I'm just we're still cool. There's no beef, zero beef, right, Katie?
Right.
All right.
For now.
I don't know about after that. I don't know how this episode's gonna go, but nah, that's all love. And then we got Claudia Gomez, former Herndon Hornet.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
So if you guys listen to, I'm gonna mess up the number. Let's just say episode 35 or 4 or something. When I talked about speaking to a group of at-risk boys, Claudia reached out. She listened to one of the IG clips that we posted when we talked about being the change. And she asked if we could, talk to the group, and did it over Zoom, but it was dope. I learned a lot. Hopefully they learned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But we wanted to bring her here. One, we've known her for a minute, but we kind of gained up on Katie last week. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So
we
had to bring.
we definitely did.
We had to bring this.
I actually tried to help. I tried to be like devil's advocate, but it didn't really work.
I behaved myself. I was good.
Yeah.
I was good. I was objective. I'm always gonna challenge. That's just who I am. But yeah, Claudia's in the building, so shout out to Claudia. And once we get into some stuff when it comes to men-women relationships, you're gonna hear her, and I'll let you introduce the last person that is here with us, man.
Without further ado. No, I'm kidding. Jess is here, my girlfriend / significant other / better half. That was a good one, right? That was cute.
Yeah, round of applause.
Fine.
Round of applause.
You approve of that one?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, she decided to, be a comrade to Katie. So she's gonna talk in with us, man. So I'm excited to hear her point of view. Hopefully,
Take some notes, maybe.
My goal is
Maybe take some notes.
you hear her like soft, nice voice.
hopefully.
My goal is
Yeah,
to
you're
make her. My goal is to make her raise her voice.
Yeah, I like
today,
that.
all
I
right?
like that.
That's my goal.
Stay here, Jess.
Nah,
Stay here.
Nah, I'm not gonna provoke anybody.
Yeah, we still got.
I do want to hear her get
We
spicy,
still gotta
though.
go home together, so hopefully,
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
we're in a good spot.
My food might be tasting a little different or something. But yeah, man, want to get into some just icebreaker stuff as usual. So we had our semifinal league game last Sunday.
It's hot in here. I can't even feel
It is hot. It is hot.
It's about to get even hotter in here too when these topics come.
Nah, it will, no doubt. No doubt. That's why I got this water.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
that's the clock in water.
That's a clock in. We gonna make it the clock in.
Yeah. They're not really. We don't need to show the camera
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We gonna make. Hey, stay tuned, man. We might have some water for y'all coming out. But here's all right. For those of you who may end up playing us in basketball down the road, us meaning the Hamilton boys. We're nice guys. All right. For the most part, we come in. We play. We have fun. We clock in. We clock out. Everyone's happy.
Yep.
But there's a few people who
They may not know.
they either don't know or they just haven't learned their lesson where they start talking trash to us, and or they do something that brings out that dog.
These haters on my body, shake them off.
Just leave it at that. Just leave it at that.
And we played against.
That's a great drop.
It is a great job. We played against actually the commissioner's team. He plays on the team.
Shout out to Ray Chambers.
Shout out to Ray
man.
Chambers, man.
Doing a great job running that.
Yeah,
league.
yeah, it's one of the best leagues in Northern Virginia. But there's some bad blood, competitiveness. I wasn't on the team last year. Austin and Brandon and some of our other friends were, and they beat them in the championship, right?
Yeah.
They have a similar team. And
My team beat the commissioner's team.
Yeah, exactly.
So
We don't. I mean, of course, they know y'all didn't lose. Sure. Come on, man. So we're playing right, and this big fake Bill Lambier, Brian Scalabrine, wannabe tries to trip Austin and act like, it was on accident type stuff, right? And there's nothing worse than a dirty player who then acts like he's not dirty.
Yep.
if you're gonna be dirty,
Keep the same energy.
just keep the same energy, right? So Austin isn't like me, all right? I'm looking for reasons to be pissed off. All right. I was watching the Reggie Miller 30 for 30, and he was like, 70% of the trash talk is to get me going. The other 30% is to see if I can mess with the other player. That's me. You know, I'm better when I'm playing with the edge. Austin is usually more chill. He'll give you 25 and he'll be smiling the whole time, and it'll be all good. Austin was pissed. All right.
Yeah.
And he went personally on like a 10-0 run. Right? So then the thing that surprised me, I was proud of you, all right?
You were?
I was proud of you at the end of the game because we were up like probably 14 or 16 with like 2 minutes left. And this dude, Austin, hit 3 straight threes. Disrespectful threes, like step back, threes from deep. Like usually you want to run the clock out.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, he was not trying to run the clock out. And he told the player, he said, you need to write an apology letter to your teammates.
Yep. Because
this is your fault.
Yeah, man. I mean, for me, it's like, when you've done so much and given so much to a game, right, that you love, like, I'm not going to disrespect the game, you know, by playing dirty. You know, like, we're playing a men's league, guys. Like, I'm not getting paid for this. You're not getting paid for this.
Not that deep.
Like, it's really not that deep. So, you know, I'm here for the exercise. I'm here for the cardio.
The camaraderie.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
you know, to get out and play ball. Because I love to do it. But when you're trying to disrespect me and try and blatantly trip me and stuff, I'm going to take that personal.
Yeah, for sure.
And, yeah, his whole team felt that. And like you said, I was like, okay, well, you're going to need to write an apology to your teammates because this is your fault.
Yep.
And, yeah, man, I had to do what I've been doing for a long time. So
nothing new. It's nothing new.
I'll say this, PSA, you can try me, but you might not want to do that.
Yeah, you don't.
Your boy still got it. I'll keep it at that. I don't do this like I used to, but you know what I'm saying. If I gotta square up,
he dropped 32.
Let's do it.
And he was gonna drop 20 politely anyway.
Like I said, I chill in these leagues
expeditiously.
Again, I get my cardio. You know, I play to win, but yeah, you don't want to get me to that level because it's different. I'll say that.
And I told dude, this is the last thing I'll say about that.
And then hold on, I'll say then after he's gonna try and shake my hand. No, I don't respect that.
Nah.
Like as a man, no. Don't blatantly try and hurt somebody, and then dap them up after the game. Like what kind of character is that?
I mean, we already know what that is. He's the type of dude who is gonna try something, and then when you buck at him, whoa, chill, I wasn't even like that. All right, bet. But anyways, he had 32. I told that same dude, the Monday before the game, I said, look, man, no disrespect, we're trying to beat y'all by 20.
Yeah.
So I told him. I wasn't trying to be cocky, but they talk a lot. And the last game we played them, at the end, we're up like 12, and the captain was like, they're not even that good. I was like, all right, bet, then beat us then. That's what I said at the end of the game. Beat us.
Wait,
Ray said that.
The first time we played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they're not even that good.
Yeah.
All right. We're trying to beat y'all by 20. We beat them by 20. But prior to that, freak accident happens. We're in warm-ups before the game, and one of our teammates throws the ball to me. I'm not looking. Hits me in the dome piece. I'm dazed a little bit. Like, all right, I'm reset myself, but still felt a little off. I ended up playing, and you know,
you still played well.
I played, yeah. I mean, I played decent. I didn't shoot the ball a lot. I didn't shoot the ball well, but you know, I did what I always do, which is defend, facilitate, bring energy. But after the game, I'm like, man, I got to go to the doctor, get this checked out. So they said I have a mild. They said I had a mild concussion, which I've never had before. But I'll be quick, man. You know, what I wanted to kind of talk about is there's a lot of things that I took for granted. Like, when you have a concussion, you can't read. You can't really exercise like that. You can't eat certain things. And this was actually a blessing in disguise. Stay away from sugar, alcohol, and caffeine. So those are things that...
You don't drink caffeine.
I mean, yeah, not really. In doses, you know, the energy drinks that I drink have a little bit, but not a lot. But the crazy thing is, they talk about how it affects your brain recovery, and I'm thinking, well, those things probably aren't good for your brain, even if you don't have a concussion.
Right.
So I've been eating pretty healthy, all week. I seen a couple veins coming. You know, I'm getting leaner. A couple veins that weren't there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. You did a couple push-ups before this?
Maybe not. All right.
Oh man.
It's none of y'all's business.
But how you feel though? You feel?
I'm not
back to your
100%, but I'm getting there. Like, I played basketball just by myself, shooting around. I ran a mile yesterday. But there's so many little things that they were like, man, you shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
And my message, especially to those who have been kind of putting personal growth, you know, through every area of your life, whether it's mentally, physically, spiritually, it's like you never know when something can happen, right? Thankfully,
we're not in control, man.
Nah.
That's one thing. If there's one thing 2020 should have taught everyone is we're not in control.
Yeah.
So always keep that in mind, man.
Right.
You know,
you're control over how you respond and react, but there's things that are going to come up in your life.
Control the controllable. It's that simple.
And thank God it's not anything that's long term, and I'm speaking that it won't be. But I mean, I'm literally thinking like, dog, if it was worse, because I know some people. One of my teammates from college, Steve Kerr from South Lakes.
Oh yeah.
He can't play. He can't exercise more than like 30 minutes without getting nauseous.
Still?
Like 45. Yeah, I think it still affects him.
That's crazy.
And he actually got hit in the head with the basketball too. But it's just one of those things where I'm thinking like, your brain is really your biggest asset. Like if you really weren't like on that train before, you know, I couldn't work the first 3 days of the week. You know.
Yeah, you were just in your room.
I was in my room chilling. Yeah. And thankfully, I have a job where, you know, I have the ability to still get paid, you know, through sick leave and stuff like that. But some people work hourly jobs, man, and it's like that stuff can affect you. So just don't take those things for granted. Like, wake up every day thankful, and clock in, because I couldn't clock in the way I wanted to, because it, you know, it would have delayed my recovery.
Glad you're all right, man.
Yeah, man. Just keep praying for me.
Recovering. That's all that matters. Keep
praying for me. But yeah, definitely looking at the blessing and the lessons learned from that. Lastly, man, before we get into some stuff, the NBA trade deadline was yesterday. It ended yesterday. We saw a lot of movement, and it's funny. Like, I always thought, first it was like, what if like corporate America was like that? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm getting sent to freaking Oracle for like 3,
for some printers,
right?
And
for two interns and a future first round entry level draft pick or something like that.
Man's got traded for a Xerox printer, dog. That's crazy.
Imagine that, dog. You, like, just think about that. Because we look at and all jokes aside, we look at these athletes, really like they're not people.
Expendable. Man.
Yeah, just imagine, hey, E, man, you're getting sent to Portland, Oregon, and you got to pack up and be there on a flight in like 2 days.
You going, E?
What's the bag look like?
It's a good question.
I feel that.
But the point is, like, these players have zero choice. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, but
what's the bag look like? There's always a choice.
Yeah, I mean,
there's always a choice, man.
I mean, you can retire as an NBA player, NFL player,
you can stop playing, but if you get traded,
You ain't gotta play for them.
If you get
You
traded,
gotta be
champ.
playing where you want to play.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if you get traded in the NBA,
you can't. You have no control over that.
you're staying there, or you either, like you said, you're either holding out, not playing, or you play. You know, that is what it is. But what if there was a relationship trade deadline? You know what I'm saying?
Yo, what? So Jessica
Some people
could.
there
So Jessica could request a trade.
If
That's what
if you weren't
that's what
doing your
you're
job, yeah, basically.
The lady's like, oh, that's not a bad idea.
Either she can release you and keep you, or
I'm trying to get a deal, man.
Are you trying to get that long term deal?
Yeah, I'm trying to get signed.
So that's all right. Right on.
Okay.
And I can dig it. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
But here's the sad part. A lot of people would be like, yeah, bet.
Oh, I bet. Especially people in marriages. That's a whole other story.
Yeah, none of us are qualified in that area. But all right, let's get into some stuff, man. A lot of this is a continuation from last week. So if you didn't listen,
Let's get it. Let's go. Let's keep it going.
if you didn't listen last week,
Clock in.
you heard it.
Clock in.
Got a little spicy.
You heard it. Clock into that episode 37.
Got a little spicy.
All right, so Claudia scooting a little bit. Jessica's already here. Man, so
Where we starting?
well, we're starting with these relationship gurus, man. I don't know if you guys are familiar. Like, I know Rob Hill.
What is a relationship guru? Is it, are they just like Hitch? You know what I'm saying? Like, well, what is a relationship guru? Has
That's
this
a good
always been
question.
a thing?
No, it hasn't.
Are they certified like therapists? Can anybody answer?
A lot of people look at Steve Harvey as that. Like,
Steve is
like Rob Hill.
He'd be like,
You guys familiar with like Rob
Steve
Hill?
be like, you need to leave him.
Right.
You need to leave him.
Right.
Okay, if he's not giving you what you want, go. It's that simple. And the crowd starts clapping.
It's a fact. Derek Jackson, though. This is why this all came to mind and why I wanted to talk about it.
Is that Megan Good's?
No.
Okay.
No.
I don't know why. I just thought
What's
about
my guy's name? Derek Franklin, I think.
Okay, so he's a Derek.
Yeah, I think his name is
All right, I
Derek
wasn't
Franklin.
completely off.
But he's a minister, I believe, or he's a pastor. He's in the Christian leadership world. He put out a video holding his wife's hand. First of all, this dude looks like all he does is lift and read the Bible. Okay.
Yeah, what kind of combination?
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a mean combination.
There's
All you
word
do
of
is lift and read.
Nah, there should be. There's a certain.
The word of God.
There has to be. All right, these pastors are getting out of hand. All right,
I feel so bad for her.
Oh my
these
God.
pastors are getting out of hand. All right.
Can you play? I haven't.
There should be a limit on how much you should.
Can we play the video at some point? Can you pull that up?
Yeah, let's do it.
Because I haven't. I've seen the picture or the
Memes and stuff.
Yeah, but I haven't like actually. Is it wild?
Basically, there was rumors that he was cheating on his wife.
Okay, so he did public.
And then he did. All right, here we go.
It's a truth. Here, and today I'm joined by my lovely wife, Danae.
Can you turn it up
we
on
just
the
wanted
TV?
to address a couple of things. You know, we
grab
understand
that
that some of you may have already
Appreciate
heard, maybe not, that this chapter of our marriage is one
it's at
that
the
was preceded
max,
by
yeah.
a marriage
I
that
think
I
that's it.
completely failed. And I would say it just started around August, maybe September of last year. But, you know, a lot has been said already about what was the cause and all that other stuff. Some of it is true, some of it is completely false. But the truth is, and I'm saying it here now, is that Derek Jackson was involved with other women outside the marriage. And by involved, I want to be clear, I'm not talking about just casually kicking it, maybe a lunch or something like that. I'm talking about as serious as sex, to sexual flirtation and meeting up and that kind of thing.
Oh, so he was getting it in.
Some things that otherwise may be
In
considered
her
okay by
house.
some in
On her
terms of
bed.
like just chatting or checking on people or being checked on by people that I've had a previous encounter with. But without my wife's knowledge of it and with us having a sexual history, all of it falls under the umbrella of inappropriate. cheating, affair, stepping out. Definitely not in alignment with the vows that I took. And definitely not in alignment with the biblical standard of what it means to be faithful, which is the standard that I'm going by now. Now, I'm saying...
All right, I think that's enough.
This ain't a good way to start.
That's enough.
For the fellas, man. Can't even lie.
I'm on the female. Well, a lot of this. So you'll understand what I'm saying when I bring this up, right? So this dude, first of all, there should be a limit on how much your pastor can bench press. Okay, I'm sorry. They're getting out of hand.
Wait, is that a thing? Like pastors are like shit?
Yeah,
the full armor.
Pastors are trying. They're becoming like pop stars.
So dad need to clock in, man. Come on, pop.
Nah, he does. He's where he's supposed to be. He's where he's supposed to be. Okay. These dudes are wilding, man. Just never mind. But all right, here's my challenge. All right. A lot of women glorify these dudes.
Like these
relationship. Like if you look at his page.
Okay, yeah, I see. Okay.
They glorify these dudes.
I'm following.
Okay.
I know what you're trying to run right now.
Yeah, you feel me?
Yeah, I know what you're trying to run.
They glorify these dudes. And here's my thing. A lot of women and men,
I say this all the
they
time.
probably have good examples in their normal day-to-day life. Here's the problem. Those relationships seem boring.
I say that all the time. Like, y'all can't be, like you said, glorifying and, oh my God, goals. You don't know them. You don't. You don't know what goes on behind this or behind the camera. Perfect example, Derek Jackson. So just stop, man. Like, a lot of y'all came from a good household. Your parents have been together for 30 plus years. Like, that's the example right in front of you.
And even if they haven't, there's someone typically in your life who's been together that long and they have a legit marriage. Now, I'm not saying just because you've been together that long, it means you have a good marriage. I understand both sides of it. But my thing is, there's an industry that's been made off men basically telling women that are going through stuff in their relationships how they should act.
Yeah, because women are always like, well, I want to figure out men, so I'm going to go to the man.
And that's fair.
Yeah.
But a lot of these men, they understand like, oh man, I can make money off this book. I can make money off these seminars. And they're not practicing what they preach. And here's the thing I wanted to bring up. Like, why are a lot of these relationship gurus minority men talking to minority women? I don't see that many white relationship gurus. Correct me if I'm wrong. Do y'all see?
I don't know anything about relationships.
I mean, it's
anything that has a guru behind it. I don't trust. I don't really follow.
But yeah, I don't. And I'm not saying that like white relationships are better. I'm just saying a lot of the women that are following these people are minority women.
Don't you think there's a reason for that though? Why they would follow?
Because it's done privately instead of publicly.
Or it could also be that women are connecting with minority men because they didn't have that type of example in their household. So you're going to go to the first thing that looks wholesome and complete if you don't have that in your life.
That's a good point.
That's a good point.
Definitely. That's a great point.
So because beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right?
Right.
So reality in reality, right, men and women are both attracted to what? The physical thing, right? And we all know that faith comes through hearing, right?
Right.
So how do you build on that faith? You listen. Women are more enticed with words, right? Just depending on your love language, right? Because there's 5, right? And so depending on what you hear or what somebody says, it's going to entice you. It's going to attract you. I listened to Derek Jackson probably twice just to see how he broke down certain relationships. And I got to say, he's very insightful.
Before all this?
Yeah. He was very insightful because I heard a lot about him and I was like, you know what? Let me check this out. Let me see what this cat is on, right? So I listened and I was like, okay, you know, he's bringing a different dynamic. He's bringing a different perspective that current men right now don't vocalize. So you have somebody who's standing up for everybody right now in that moment. It's kind of like a savior concept. But in reality, right, like y'all were saying earlier, we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. And this is a perfect example. I don't know if anybody else saw the video, but if you look at the video just based on body language, you see narcissistic tendencies. You see codependency. You see somebody who is still suffering from trauma. If you guys do your research on the wife, apparently she was raped at some point. I don't know if that's accurate, but I've heard that. So it's like you build off of that codependency off somebody who has the savior complex. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's where I feel like you want to talk about why women look up to these men. That's why.
Yeah.
And I'm blaming. I'm taking blame on both sides. Like the men who are involved in these industries, a lot of times know exactly what they're doing.
Correct.
Because he's about to create a book, or he already has a book
Yeah.
that's going to come out about what I did, right? And I'm not judging anybody. Like when we talk about relationships, we're not relationship experts, right? We're giving you our perspective, but you know we've seen a lot, we've been through a lot, we've seen good examples of marriages, we've seen not so great, but I think that, and I think this goes back to honestly way before these times, where minority families and relationships have been attacked for a long time.
Correct.
Through colonization, through slavery. So I think that's part of it, and that's another thing I wanted to talk about. And again, not that Caucasian relationships and families don't have it. Every culture has their issues.
Right.
But just literally, they've been able to stay together because no one tried to break their family dynamic apart. So I think that's why you see minority men talking to minority women for the most part. And that's part of why, this industry has kind of been created for men. So it's just, I don't know. I'm a big believer in just keeping it simple, and use common sense.
Right.
Because a lot of these men, they prey on women's emotions, like you were talking about last episode, Katie. And they know, because I'm a man, I can say certain things, and really it's probably the opposite of what they're doing, but I know that they're going to relate to this. And if I, and a lot of these men are attractive too, that's another thing. You don't really see, I don't see that many, or they're famous, but, there's just a lot that I'm just not a fan of, and I put a lot of the blame on the men taking advantage. Now, if you have the heart to help and you just messed up, but that guy, just based on what you said and what I saw, I think he's a con. I think he's a con artist.
I agree, and also because he built his relationship grew just based on what he did to her prior as well. So it happened in college, right? And he lost her, and now he started a book, and that's how it just escalated. So it's like, you're supposed to learn from your mistakes, right? That's what you're preaching to your viewers. You're trying to teach them how to be better to your women, right? So in the end, if you're not living it, eventually it's going to crumble, right? And that's kind of what happened with him. I agree with you. I think he's a con artist. I think he preyed on her vulnerabilities. Well, her because his wife, but I also think in women, I think you guys said this in the last podcast, that we are emotional, but I think there's a threshold where it becomes logical and emotions based on trauma, right? Because a lot of women might be emotional, but maybe there's a reason why, right?
Yeah, we all have trauma.
Exactly.
All
I was just saying it because y'all were talking about the girls being emotional.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yes, I agree with you. Everybody has trauma. We just deal with it differently.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah, that's a great point, and I don't know if anyone else wants to chime in. I don't know if you guys follow these dudes, but even and I've talked about this, even these funny relationship meme pages, I see a lot of girls repost. It's like you're taking advice from an Instagram page that has no face behind it.
I repost memes. I think they're funny.
Yeah, if you're doing it out of funniness, you're doing that. But a lot of girls are they're vetting dudes this way, and it's because I laugh at some of them.
Yeah.
And I'm not a hater on them, but a lot of women treat it like it's the gospel, and it's just use common sense.
Men do too.
Nah, it goes both ways.
Men do too.
This is kind of separate but related, but man, social media is not a diary.
Say that one more time for the people.
It's not a diary. It's not a journal. It's not a thesis paper. All right, and this is a lot of reasons why relationships go south. And this is again men and women, because I see guys do it too. Stop posting your relationship issues on social media. That is the worst place.
Oof,
The worst, and then they take them back.
Yeah,
It's like,
I agree with that. Yeah,
Missing
that's true.
that.
I don't think that it's wise to post your relationship issues on social media. It just it invites people who don't need to know your business in.
Yeah.
And then
people
So you only post the good stuff?
you know, I would
Didn't you
say
start with that last episode?
I would say yes.
Talk about,
I would say yes. Yeah.
good
So only
stuff.
post the good stuff.
I would say yes. In
You
regards
don't
to
wanna involve anybody else in your drama. You
So-
know?
No, come on, Nick.
no. Go ahead, because I think I like where you're going. So go ahead and say what.
Exactly. Say it again, Aaron.
You wouldn't post bad stuff on your resume, would you?
It's not a.
Have you ever committed a crime?
Are you?
Social
No.
media isn't my
Yeah,
resume.
that's correct.
You ever
Social
done
media
this?
isn't my resume though.
It is for me.
Because social
It
media.
is for me?
Social media.
I look at social media as a resume.
Yeah,
It's-
same.
it's
I
your
look at
resume,
yeah.
But that's not
Because
the
it's
real
you.
person.
It's
So-
your page.
so Nick-
It's your
So Nick,
prerogative.
It's a part of the person.
So Nick, is what you're
It's a
getting
facet.
at is what you're getting at like kind of like what I talked about last week, where I said a lot of people post their relationship is all rainbows and sunshine on social media, but in reality, behind closed doors, it's trash, right? So are you saying it's fake to
It's
only
fake.
post the good stuff?
It's fake. Either way, it's fake.
I think
It's all fake.
I-
The only
We're
reason
keeping
you're
it a buck.
posting it is because you want other people to see that, oh, I'm in this relationship.
Exactly.
Do you care about the relationship yourself, or do you want other people to see yourself in this relationship?
Which is why I
If
don't
you
really
care
post
about
at
other
all.
People seeing
Exactly.
you in a relationship, I don't even want to be with you. Like,
So-
why? Because you care about what other people think.
Mhm.
Then what if somebody tells you, oh, this and that and the third, and oh, this, blah, blah,
I got
whatever
it
is.
better than this.
It's like, bro,
relationship.
that like
Yeah.
now on the other hand, if you're my girlfriend, you're posting me every week, every day. You went 2 weeks without posting me. What does that mean?
Mhm.
That's an invite for everybody else to be like, hey, I guess she's not with her boyfriend no more. It's the same token.
I hear
So
what you're
it's
saying,
like,
but I
social
think that
media is fake. It does not exist. Once you
so
understand that,
when it
it's
comes to
like-
relationships, I get where you're going at, but I think personally, I'm not gonna post my issues on social media. I'm gonna post the good things. If I travel, I'm gonna post that. If I go see my brother, I'm gonna post that. If
Yeah.
I'm gonna be with the Clock In podcast, I'm gonna post that. That's not me being fake. That's me promoting what I'm doing in my life because I want to and people want to see it. I don't just allow any follower to follow me. That's just me personally because I'm private with my life. I
Yeah.
know the people that follow me
It's a
and I'm
negative.
okay with that, right? However, there are some people who are public with their lives, and that's because sometimes they just do it off hashtag, off of clout, off of whatever. Maybe they're promoting their business, maybe they're doing something else. But first, you have to create a social media platform to get yourself out there. Now, relationship-wise, I hear what you're saying. Me personally, if I'm in a relationship, I'm gonna post my man. Not every single day and all that, but people are gonna know I'm in a relationship.
There's a
But it
balance.
doesn't just end there,
There's a
right?
balance.
I'm also gonna keep that same loyalty when I don't post him. For example, if someone slides in my DMs, that's not his job to set that person straight. That's on me because it's
Thank
my
you.
social
Thank
media.
you.
You
Thank
see what I'm
you.
saying?
Thank
So I
you.
hear what you're saying, but I also think it's doable with balance. Now, in a way, if you look at it from a black and white concept, to be honest with you, that's actually a fallacy because you're being very one way versus the other, and you can be in the middle.
Nico got some feelings.
Nah, I just don't like getting into it because I never. My opinion's always looked at differently.
That's fine.
But
Yeah,
I
we
think
need
it's
that.
okay to
But
look at it
like-
like that because there's a reason behind that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that what you're saying isn't right because it does make sense. Like, I hear exactly what you're
Well,
saying.
What you just said was I only post certain things that I want to post, and I don't
Correct.
think that's fake. To me, that's your opinion.
Right.
To me, that's fake.
Mm.
Like, you wouldn't post yourself tripping and falling or something like that if you're trying to make a dance and you trip and fall. Like,
I think it's also
if
what
you make bad food and you thought your food was good, like, damn, I burnt my food today. Like, you're not gonna put like.
I think it's more
That-
what she's
to
saying
me,
is
that-
relationship, though.
that-
Not like she wouldn't post bloopers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
No, she
I
said
mean-
good pictures. I'm taking the good pictures of myself and I'm
But
doing
dog,
the good
don't
things
you
and
edit
traveling.
footage?
What? Yeah, but that's it's not real. the stuff that I make isn't real.
So you're fake.
Life's
on your
what
page.
you make it.
On my page, you can go look at my page. I don't post on my page. He's talking about videos, editing videos. Yeah, I edit videos.
No, but I'm saying the way you edit videos, isn't that like how you edit your social media?
No.
Isn't the content that you strip away from your footage, isn't that like, hey, you know, when I post this, I want to post the best version of myself online?
From what footage are you talking about, though? That's what I don't understand.
Anything. Isn't that what social media is?
Correct.
It's just
That's what I'm
footage of
saying.
your
It's
life?
footage of
It's
your
a
life.
highlight. It's a
Yeah,
highlight
it's a
reel.
highlight
Yeah,
reel.
it's a
Yes,
highlight
there we
reel.
go. It's a highlight reel.
I'm
It's a
talking about
highlight reel.
anything, bro.
Yeah,
When you showcase something to somebody else, aren't you trying to show the best version of yourself?
To an extent, but to me, that's not what I'm about. I'm not about posting something that's only good on my Instagram or posting on something only good. You can go through my Instagram, my Twitter, my Facebook. You're gonna see real stuff.
And
I
that's
think
fine.
what she's saying
Yeah.
is
That's fair,
it's
yeah.
okay. You can do that in a
Yeah,
relationship,
that's fine.
Yeah.
or not.
Yeah.
Because it's your relationship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that whatever content you put out, you're in control of that, right? It should never be led by emotions. That's my point with it. Like, I hear what you're saying about the whole fakeness and stuff, but I also think that there's intention behind it. So me personally, if I want to post a picture of me with a fire outfit, that's not me being fake. That's me showing off my outfit because I'm feeling myself. It got nothing to do with nobody, for real. I just think it looks dope and I like it and I'm gonna post it, period, right? It has nothing to do with me personally. I don't think it's fake, but I hear where you're coming from. I just think you're looking at it just from one perspective. You know what I'm saying? I'm not negating what you're saying because like I said, I agree with you, right? To an extent. But I think maybe you should try looking at it more from a gray perspective. But it's all you. I'm just saying.
For me, it comes down to y'all don't need to know everything that's going on in my life.
Correct.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
Like Neek, you might be talking to a joint, and you don't like people don't need to know that.
Exactly.
So when it comes to relationships and other things that are personal and intimate to me,
This is what I'm saying. It's contradictory. Because now you're
Why?
saying put me on Instagram. I want you to put me on. Now it's okay not to. And when it like that.
I hear you because up till I had one relationship, right? My most recent relationship, I will genuinely say I was very pressed on me being shown off because there was a reason behind that. But up till then,
What's that reason?
It wasn't.
She doesn't have to share it.
Right. Well,
She
that,
doesn't.
but also, no,
That's
yes,
it.
it had to
That's
do
what
with
she's
insecurities.
saying.
But the reason why I was insecure. All right, one thing I want to say right off the rip, right? Women like to feel security, right?
I think that's humans.
Right.
Yeah, that's
but
human nature.
but it's also provided through the relationships they're in, right? So if I'm in a relationship with somebody and my man can't give me that security in our relationship, not about myself. I just want to separate that, right? Because I already know where y'all going. I feel like that's okay. Like I should feel protected by my man. I should feel like the day of tomorrow, if a girl comes up to him, he can say no to her. He can be like, you know what, I'm in a relationship, or he can come back to me and be like,
I have a question.
yes.
Keep going.
Okay, all right. So I'm saying like, okay, right?
I have the same question.
I don't really think that far ahead, but if it comes down to it, I want to be able to feel like I can trust my man in our relationship. Now, separately, right? Where does that stem from? Y'all were talking about it last time. Insecurities, right? Why do I feel like that? Maybe my man stepped out at one point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he created this new way of me looking at it. Whereas before, I didn't look at it like that, right?
Women don't go backwards with that.
Exactly.
They don't settle for
Exactly.
After you've been scorned, that's it.
So moving forward, this is a requirement now. If you're going to be with me, this is a requirement. This is my standard. This is where I'm at. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. Bounce. I don't beg. We're not going to beg, right?
I
Yes.
just have a question. I have a question.
Yes.
So this goes back to my whole social media thing, right?
It's just one.
Why does social media play a part in feeling secure in your relationship?
I'm really glad.
Yeah, no,
I'm
Why?
really glad. I'm glad that you brought that up.
More
So
than
for
stuff
me
that-
personally, like I said, it prior to a relationship that I was in, right? I did not care. I was very private. I didn't even post the dude I was dating. You know what I mean? Nobody, like, for the longest time, nobody even knew I had a boyfriend, to be honest with you. I just carried myself the
it's not
proper way.
business.
Right, exactly. But I carried myself like unavailable. And that's where I left it, right? I didn't explain it or nothing. But what happened was the person I was dating at the time, he was very well known. by a lot of people. And a lot of the stuff he was doing, people were coming back and telling me because nobody knew we were actually together. Do you know what I mean? Because we weren't going out on the scene like that. Like, I'm very reserved. Like, I got to know where I'm going, you know, who I'm going to come around, because I don't be trusting just anybody, especially vibes, right? So for me, it was like, okay, we have to go to the step, because I saw girls hit him up, text him and everything, you know, and he was friendly. So what did I tell him? I'm like, yo, listen, you got to make this public at this point, because people don't know we're together. We've been rocking with each other for 6-7 months. People got to know that we're rocking with each other. He's like, all right, bet. So he posts me. Yeah, I felt better after.
All right, so let me ask you this.
Katie, you got something to add to that?
Yeah, I just have a quick point.
I'm sorry for talking fast.
This is fine. The challenges that you were dealing with had nothing to do with social media.
Correct.
Everything to do with him.
The person. Correct.
So you felt better in the moment.
Correct.
But long term, the issue still isn't fixed.
Exactly.
It's a Band-Aid.
Right.
So that and I'm not saying you don't agree with that. I'm just saying, like, this is why
it's deeper.
It's always deeper.
Always deeper.
It's always so. Katie, go ahead.
Remember when you said about the Twitter, how that girl tweeted, what does it mean when your significant other posts other people more than you?
Yeah.
And your answer was, y'all not together. So it's like, we're looking at it like, in her perspective, she felt like they weren't together because nobody actually knew through social media.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real. We look at social media to see who's with who, you know?
I don't fully agree with what he said. And here's why. I know a girl who she literally...
It's case by case.
It's case by case, but here there's a girl, she did not post her guy until he proposed. And she told him, like, I'm not putting you on social media until I know we're real. She didn't post them. They were in a relationship. She didn't post them. Now, if he's posting other women, then I agree, and it's like y'all aren't together. Now, when you say like other people,
yeah, not like your friends and stuff like that. I understand it's situational with, like, you mean other females instead of you personally, because like your family and your friends, that's an exception.
So yeah, now in that context, I agree.
Yeah, that's why I think I even said, like, there needs to be more context, but in this situation, I had some context, and in my opinion,
yeah,
like,
it could be an old picture.
Y'all aren't on the same wavelength.
But to Nico's point, I brought the same person up last week, and I seen more posts today. A girl I went to college with, she recently got pregnant, got engaged, and I don't know if dude has social media. It doesn't really matter. I don't think she's tagged dude once. All I see is bump pictures and engagement ring pictures with her finger. I don't see dude. Now, if I'm dude, this is just me personally. I'm gonna be like, all right, well, was I just a donor? Like, is this?
Well,
am I just?
That's Marshall.
That's me.
Him, he might have like, yo, don't post me. I was like,
now if he, now I'm just saying, and this is how I'm looking at it.
Why don't you want me to not post you?
I'm not saying this is the truth. I know the girl.
He could be a freaking spy.
I know the girl.
He could be Derek Jackson.
I know the girl. Okay.
He could be Derek Jackson. He could be out in the streets.
And I have some context of the type of person she is. All right. She's not a bad person by any means. I'm just saying, the way it comes off to me is, and this is a challenge I have with a lot of women these days. It's a competition, and it's a look at me. Someone loved me enough to propose. Someone loved me enough to put a baby inside of me. Someone loved me enough to commit to me. And it's more about showing that, hey, there's someone who actually, care, but they're not even showing the person. So it's almost like, well, you can swap that dude with anybody. You're just trying to show this. You're just trying to show this. And this is my perspective, because I said it on Valentine's Day, like, and I even reposted. Shout out to Gerard Curlew. He posted this. He's like, the girl posted the chocolates, the roses on the bed, the dinner, and you've been working hard to, you know, get her to this point where she can call you about time. She ain't post you. Know your worth, King. You know what I'm saying? So it's to me, it's like a lot of women are so pressed on getting a man, and then they get a man, and then they just show what the man's doing for them. They're not showing the dude.
Okay, let me challenge that real quick.
Which I think is rare. I think a lot of women want to show the dude.
A lot of them are overboard.
But
I'm just saying that I've seen it.
That's an outlier.
I've seen
that doesn't happen a lot.
You know, I think sometimes
we did a survey. I would say a large percentage want to post their relationship.
Yeah, but I think sometimes women don't, like, in what you were saying, Marshall, about, you know, they post all this other stuff. I think sometimes women know what type of man they're dealing with. You know what I mean? And maybe they just want to be catered to in the moment. And maybe that's probably why they don't want to post dude, because it really might not even be that serious to them. And I think that they're okay with where they are in regards to that, because to be honest, there's a lot of dudes out here that are for the streets. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they're out here talking to multiple girls at once, taking certain girls out and other girls not, or whatever. So I think to protect your image as a woman, or maybe you just don't want people to know that you're messing with this person, you're not going to post them. That's how I would look at it. If I'm not going to post a dude who's out here taking me to places, I'm cool with that if I know what he's really about. Fair. But I think that there's, and it might not be like that for real, but for me personally, that's how I would view it. I would view it like that. Communication. Exactly.
Yeah.
It all falls down to communication.
We can add all these layers to it, but
this person doesn't feed to your image.
No, I would say
that's a real case.
Yeah,
So then why are you?
That's a real case because
okay.
Because look, Nico, if dude ain't light skinned, tatted, 6'5", but he's treating you right, you know what I'm saying? If he doesn't meet your physical requirements, you might not post him because you might feel some sort of embarrassment, because that's a real thing.
And that is a real thing, and I've seen it in men mostly than in women. You'd be surprised. I see it a lot more in men. Men don't like putting out what girl they're messing with or nothing like that, because sometimes she might not be.
If you're messing,
that's what I'm saying. Exactly.
If you're messing with somebody, you shouldn't be posting.
No, that's what I'm saying though. Yeah.
I don't want to put just anybody on my Instagram.
Correct.
Yeah. The same way I don't want to just let anyone meet my mother.
Exactly.
So if we can go on 10 dates, 20 dates, 50 dates, 1,000,000 dates. If I don't have that connection with you. Yeah, I like spending time with you. I don't see a future with you.
Right.
So like, I'm not gonna put you on my Instagram.
Right.
But like I said last week, I enjoy doing these things, so I'm going to do them with you. If you have fun doing them, no, we're not together. No, we're just having fun. Like, we're hanging out. And
there's a mutual understanding.
I put that up
there
on Front Street.
Yeah.
I put that in Front Street. Now, if you think you can change me, is that my problem? Or no, if I put it on Front Street.
No, I think what you said it right. Like, if you come at somebody from the beginning and you let them know the expectations or the standard of what you're looking for and what you want.
So I'm not going to post the image of me going out on a date with them and not post them. Again, that's fake, because I'm trying to feed my image.
Why though? Like, why would you not post the indulgence of a relationship or a date? I'm just asking.
If there's stages to it.
If I'm not really with this person.
Yeah.
If I don't really feel this person, I'm not gonna, look, it's 2 cups over here and 2 plates.
Yeah, I don't do that.
You don't
no. I hear you. I'm just asking. I want to challenge that. I want to know why.
I'm trying to boost my image.
That's fake. That example you just gave is fake.
Said. I'm posting a picture and not showing him because I care about my image.
Yeah, that was my issue with the engagement ring only.
Let's be real.
The pregnant.
But you're not posting me because I'm not good enough for your image.
I don't really care if a dude post me or not. Like I told y'all, for me, mine was situational. Okay, I was in a relationship with that person, and that was what it came down to. Now, if I'm talking to somebody,
again, there's stages. There's
a difference. Honestly, Nico, I'll be straight up with you. If I want to post a dinner, I'm gonna post it. I don't really care what anybody has to say. I don't have to explain myself to anybody. To be honest with you, I like the aesthetic. I like the picture. I like the food. I like the restaurant. I'm an artsy person. That goes with my vibe. If people mess with it, they do. If not, they ask, whatever. I really do not care. I live for me at the end of the day, and I feel like most women who would post or whatever like that, it might be for different reasons, but I don't always think it's to fit. For me, if I'm messing with an F-boy, right? Straight up.
Okay.
If I'm messing with an F-boy, right?
To it.
I'm not posting him. You know, he's no offense, but he's for the sheets, not for the streets, to be honest with you. So
say that again.
I'm saying if I'm messing with an F-boy, he's for the sheets, not for the streets. So like you were saying earlier, right? That's not somebody I'm gonna take to mama or my family. But absolutely, because I want to be shown that I'm catered to.
Why?
Because I'm setting the standard of the man that's coming forward. This is what you gotta come with. Emotionally, you might not be building me, but physically in the moment you're satisfying me.
You lost me there.
And you.
Hey guys, thanks for clocking in with us and making it this far into the episode. We want to continue these episodes for as long as possible, but we might need your help. If you click on the description on each episode, you'll find a link that reads Support This Podcast. If you enjoy keeping up with us, click on that link and you can make a monthly donation. All right, you guys hear enough of me talking anyways, so let's get back into the episode.
You brought it back to my point, which is.
I'm just saying.
You know, my thing is, why do you need to show that someone's catering to you?
I'm saying if that's what I want to do, I'm gonna post that. But
my
I told
question
you
is why? What's the motive behind it?
He's an F-boy.
I'm talking about I'm talking about whether he's an F-boy or you're dating him or whatever. My thing is like,
girls just want to have fun, bro.
It's not about.
Be that?
I don't care about what they're. I'm just talking about the perception that's going out on social media. That's what me and Nico are talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the perception.
Game.
It's the perception that.
Comparison.
And this is why I brought up the Valentine's Day thing. Someone was interested enough in me to say I want you to be my Valentine.
Comparison.
A lot of these dudes, they don't even talk to you like that.
That's true.
So that's my issue. It's like, well, I'm not just here. If I'm talking, well, one, I don't care about any of this stuff. I'm just talking about if I was a guy who've been going smack at you, and then you're finally like, yeah, let's go out on a date for Valentine's Day, blah blah blah, and you're just showing everything I did for you, but you're not going to show. It's like either show everything,
but we're missing. There's stages to
yeah.
Stages to
That's what I'm saying. Like I think it's
me
gradual.
and Jessica in our early talking stage, we may have went out to eat. I didn't post her. She might have did a little boomerang and stuff. She didn't show me because what if a week later, you know what I'm saying? We just don't.
That's fine. My point is, I'm not posting anything.
That's what he said. That's not what you said.
Here's my thing. I'm not posting anything.
That's what I was trying to say.
If I don't,
but
I'm not. I'm saying me personally. I've been in my single life. I've been on a lot of dates.
Yeah.
I've never posted once
because you're single.
It doesn't. What do you mean? I'm talking about. Let me finish. Yeah. I've never posted a plate of food. Yeah. I've never posted. I'm out with somebody. Well, I'm single. No.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like when you're single, you don't need to post that stuff. You probably shouldn't. But when you have a relationship, you can do a little boomerang and show your girlfriend. Like there's stages to it.
Okay, but we were just talking about Valentine's Day or whatever situations where girls are posting. Look at my dinner. Look at my chocolate.
The date with the F-boy.
Whether they're together. And
the date with the F-boy, yeah.
The date with
the F-boy, yeah.
Okay, but here's my thing. I've gone on dates with joints that are in the streets.
Thank you.
I'm not posting the dinner. Who cares? I'm not trying to show. I'm out with somebody.
I mean, I hear you because I'm on the same boat as you.
What?
But
are you in the picture?
I'm speaking for the girls that I've seen.
I'm not posting any. If I'm not
saying,
dating you, if
I'm on a date and she wants to post the aesthetics and the food, and I'm not in it.
She can. I don't want to be in it. I'm saying I'm not posting that. Yeah, I'm saying guys. I don't see a lot of guys.
But they can. But I'm just saying
they can. But I'm just saying, what is the motive behind why you're posting it? This is what I'm trying to get everybody to think about.
It's the same motive as to why you would post a fly outfit. Like you want to have some sort of validation. You want likes. You want we're human guys. Like we feed off this stuff. It's a real thing. Like
especially
it's case by case.
Society
but what I'm saying is, yes, she wants to post that because she might want to have some. oh girl, I see you. Like, who you with? Like, the same reason why.
I tag my clothes though. I tag
you know
my
what I'm saying?
I tag my clothes.
But
she might have an alibi. She might want to have some, you know.
Yeah, but like,
or maybe I went somewhere and nobody knows.
Like our human nature to want, you know, to have some validation or, you know, whatever. Like, but it's a real thing.
Okay, it is a real thing, but it's on a lot of people's priority list, and it's
yeah.
Right.
That's my issue.
Yeah, that's my issue.
That's my issue.
I think that goes down once you get older, though. Bro.
It does.
Oh, it does.
Yes, I agree.
No, it's not an older. It's
it
a
does.
maturity thing.
Or
no,
I
think it's just I think
it's a maturity
thing. Yeah,
thing.
because you can be old and not be mature.
It's a maturity thing.
It's different.
It's a self. It's a self assuredness thing too.
I've been on social media since 2005. That stuff is dead to me.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Dead.
But it also depends on the era too. Like my older brother Walt, like he not posting anything on social media. You know what I'm saying? Like that is a factor. But yeah, I get what you were saying. I get it's not, but
one of his best friends from college posts stuff all the time.
Yeah, whatever. But bad example. But I get what you were saying. Like the stuff shouldn't matter, which I agree with. But what I'm saying is the same reason why someone might want to post a dope outfit and they want to get some likes or something, same reason why they want to post and show that they're on a date. Just like when you post when you're in Jamaica or you're, you know what I'm saying, somewhere else. Why are you posting that?
To share it.
Exactly.
I think something
like we can't.
I think a date thing is different. I don't think that's comparable.
Wait. Documented as like, hey, look, this is where I was. Now I got the time at. 7 years ago today, look, you did this, and the third. Yeah. You're telling me you wanted to put your chicken in mashed potatoes and you want to know you did that 6 years from now? You want to put that in your diary? I ate chicken and mashed potatoes?
I mean, me personally, when I posted pictures of restaurants, it's because the food is bomb. You know what I mean?
Trying to share it to other
and I'm
people.
sharing it because this was good. And on top of that, it's a beautiful
all
location.
We're saying is,
but you had to put that little second cup in the background.
That's what we're talking. We're talking about the date thing. We're not talking about in general.
A little chain in the background.
The
it
hand.
could be that somebody is unintentional. That is different. But I feel like, okay, hold on.
But that's to me, that's a stage too.
That's what I was just about to say.
That's what I'm talking about.
And that's where I'm going.
That boy that you say, yeah, I'm gonna post a dinner, but I'm not posting him. This is the subject we're talking on. Let's stick with this subject.
And we are sticking with this subject.
The relationship we're talking about. The F boy, I don't know.
Angie, I feel like you got something to say.
It's all good. I do this for a living, so let's get it.
That's what I'm talking about. Why do you, if you want to post your plate, post your plate. If you think you look cute, post this self.
That's different than what we're talking about.
Like, you don't have to post a double plate and the no guy or...
Why not, though?
The Ferrari symbol in the back.
We're saying, what is the motive behind it?
It's a flex.
I was just about to say that. Yeah,
it's a flex.
Like I was saying earlier, it's just you showing
let's
the
just
standard.
call it what it is, a flex.
Yeah, it's just
like
moving forward with a standard.
Do I agree with it? No, but it's a flex.
That's all I want. That's all I want.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just being real and letting you guys know.
Okay.
People flex. We all flex on social media. Correct?
Yeah.
It's a flex. It's that simple. Like,
as long as people admit that and they're real,
all that came down to it's a flex.
It's a flex, literally. Nico, did you hear that?
Like,
a flex.
We flex as people. Like, again, if I get a nice pair of shoes and you know what I'm saying, I've been clocking in, I look good, and I want to post that, it's a flex.
If relationships weren't a flex, then we wouldn't have that.
So a relationship is a flex now?
To some people,
to some people,
Nick, you know that.
To some people, it is.
To some people,
it is.
And it's usually
to some people,
you know that's a flex,
and that's part of the problem.
And that's a huge problem.
And that's part of the problem.
To some people, it is.
Yes, for sure.
And that's why the engagement ring and all that.
Nick,
I know.
To some people, it is. Yeah,
I'm not about to be someone's flex.
That's a big flex.
I'm not gonna be someone's flex.
If you didn't have
if that's why you're dating me. Now, there's a difference between I'm showing you off.
Yeah,
but I'm talking about
flex
like
in the right manner.
Yeah. But I'm talking about like what the example I gave with old girl. She's flexing that she's engaged. She's flexing that she's pregnant. She's flexing all these things. It's not about him.
Yes.
It's not even about their relationship. It's about look at me.
I mean, we can get
but
that's what,
all right,
that's
a bigger.
What do
that's
you
a
mean
bigger,
a relationship is a flex? What do you mean? Let's elaborate on that. Like,
huh?
What do you like? I don't. What do you
So for example, right? Like I knew somebody.
Couple goals. That's all. Couple goals.
So that
hashtag.
I knew somebody who was constantly dating like all these different types of women, right? And he got this really, really good, godly girl, right? She was centered in the Lord and everything, right? That was a flex for him because growing up, Shorty wasn't messing with nobody. You know, she was doing her own thing and everything. So to him, that was a flex. Like, damn, I got this girl. You know what I mean?
Nobody's touched.
That
like,
nobody's had.
And
and
in the street.
she
loves
guys, right.
Like,
you know, because she has the Lord in her heart. That's a flex. That's how I interpret a flex. I don't know if we're interpreting it differently, but that's how I interpret a flex.
I mean,
right?
There's a lot of soft flexes. Like,
right, yeah. Or,
you know what I'm saying? We take a trip together and we post a picture. Like, that's a flex.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we...
Y'all look good in the outfits together.
Yeah, like we do a little photo op. Like, that's a flex. Like, look at the comments. Goals. Yeah. Oh, y'all are fire. Like,
and the best part about
mom and dad. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And the
like,
best part about it is that we got boomerangs and stories, so it goes away in 24 hours. So that I look at it as a subtle flex.
And I'm not saying
if you don't flex in your relationship is dead. You have to keep it exciting. You have to keep it spicy. You have to keep it because what? Because that's what women want. They want more. They want more from you. They want more effort. You have to flex.
I think it's more keeping it consistent.
I don't think there's anything wrong with like you said, the soft flexes. My issue is when you being in a relationship and the serendipities that come with it that you can show off. If that's the flex and not this person. That's the issue, and even the person. You don't have to flex the person, but when there's this whole pandemic on social media of, you know, showing that I'm in this great relationship, I'm being treated this way, blah 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 blah. None of that. It doesn't matter.
I want to touch up on that a little bit from the mental health aspect because I did hear it in the last podcast, and this is something that I think a lot of people need to know. I read this in a book one day that said that if every day or you're constantly posting your relationship on social media, that is a sign of insecurities within your relationship. Yes. So I do agree with what y'all were saying from last time that if you're constantly posting your relationship, there is an issue.
To me, something's going on.
Exactly.
It cheapens it.
Right. It
something's
does.
Going on.
Because whatever validation they're seeking within the relationship, they're actually getting it from social media. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I did agree with that analysis that you guys gave me the last time.
It's two separate worlds.
It is.
It really is.
I think, like I was telling Nico earlier, there's a balance, right? There's a balance to relationships. There's a balance to social media. There's a balance to everything in life, right? And it's just learning your balance. Like, not everything is so black and white, you know, like... At my job, that's what we try to teach our kids, right? Is at an early age, you have to understand that there is a gray area, and that's unfortunate in certain situations, right? But it's important to learn that, and it's important to make that a habit growing up because you have to learn how to compromise.
Yeah.
Not everyone is going to agree with you. Not everyone is gonna be on the same page as you. Like, love changes. You know, love changes. Like, it's the stages of love, and then also like the way people want to be loved. It changes. And that's unfortunate, right? But I think the important thing we should all get out of this is that if you remain consistent in your relationship and you're open to growth, then you should be able to evolve with your partner.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Facts. And I did want to pause because there were some questions that you didn't get to ask last week. Well, let's just open it up. Like, ladies, this is a Q&A. Like, what do y'all want? Just, there's no...
Jess, we haven't heard from you.
Yeah, like what questions do you have? What questions do you have for the fellas? Like things that maybe
whether it's for your friends that are in current situationships or
doesn't have to be you.
Let's talk about situationships.
Okay.
Let's talk about it.
So
you have a
what's the
question?
Well, no. Okay, so last episode, I remember you guys were talking about like what a guy does for a girl and then the girl being upset when it's like not turning into a relationship or whatever. You know what? You know?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So basically,
like when they do too much. And then
Yeah.
But they're like, no.
There's a movie on that, by the way.
Yeah.
It's called Ghost of Girlfriend's Past. I'm just gonna throw that out.
But also
Watch
like
it.
when that stuff is happening, but then like us girls keep going back to that situation. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing that I think, and it's not a bad thing. All right, it's not a bad thing sometimes, but a lot of women forget that they're still single. You're not committed. If the guy hasn't committed to you, then why are you treating him like a girlfriend?
Yeah, no, that's why I wanted to touch on about it, because I was agreeing with you guys.
Yeah.
Because we, like, ladies, we know that there's certain guys that we have gone to, and then you tell your friends, and they're like, why? Like, you know what they do, why are you going back?
Mm-hmm.
So part of that, you, like, have to put the blame on yourself, too, because...
it's accountability, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm just a believer in, like, until they're
real.
Yeah, like it's until they're committed. Don't and again, I said it's not a bad thing because women are usually more loyal, typically. And just because you're loyal doesn't mean that you have to put all your cards out on the table, because relationships. I mean, especially in the courting phase, like it's a game of chess. Like, let's just call it what it is. It's a game of chess. And I feel like a lot of times women give men the power too early, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing about men, and it's I'm just keeping it real. Like once we feel like, oh, I can get away with this, or I know how I can navigate certain things because she's in love. She's in this lovey-dovey.
She's not about to go mess with nobody else.
Yeah, or I'm the best guy she's ever talked to, and she's gonna be pressed because she doesn't want to go back to the streets and see what else is out there. I can get away with stuff. I'm not saying it's right, but I think it goes back to being more logical.
Exactly.
And
which we got into.
But also
emotional versus logical.
But also, and here's the thing that a lot of people, including men, forget about. Like, are you prepared for that dude that you want?
And vice versa.
So you said emotional and logical. I think one thing we should all keep in, let me just say women, right? To be realistic. We might be logical at the beginning, but I don't know who said it at first. Somebody said, "Oh, I'm going to do things because I just want to do them," right?
Nico.
It was you. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're giving a woman that type of action and she's not used to it and that's not what she's been around,
oh yeah,
how could she not fall for you?
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Fact.
And I think that men in particular forget that. It's like, oh, but I told you what it was at the beginning. Well, I'm sorry I fell for your actions. I'm sorry I fell for this person that you're showing me. I'm sorry I fell in love with you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think when we hyper focus on women being so emotional, I think we also have to understand that it's
two-way street.
Right. And it also leads up, right? Like, I'm a very logical person. Like, I can separate both, right? But it took me a long time to be this way, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had to get my heart broken a few times. I had to have dudes tell me, oh, nah, I'm good, shorty. For me to be like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, all right, like, I'm going to start moving this way. I'm going to start acting this way moving forward. I have to step up my standards, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if not, maybe in the moment it might not hurt, but later on I'm a ponder, right? Because I'm like, I put myself in this situation, like you were saying, Jess, like, to take accountability. But I also think it's unfair to just point it out on women being emotional. I think men also do stuff to get us that way.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, look, here, when I say emotional, I'm talking about the way you make your decisions.
Right.
Whether to stay or not to stay.
Right.
Everyone has emotions. Everyone has logic. But my point was, like, you gave the example. Well, how can you not fall for us if we're treating you a certain way? Is that our fault if we're being ourselves?
I'm sorry, my mom raised me
So no, it's not. But that's why.
You got something?
No, I agree wholeheartedly.
Right,
Yeah.
but that's why I countered it and said if the woman is not used to that treatment and she's getting that treatment, that's not her fault that she falls in love with you.
It's not the guy's
But
fault.
Right. I'm just saying though. I'm just saying if she communicates that though, she's like, yo, I'm falling in love with you. Like I'm sorry that I'm falling for you based on. I'm giving you an example, right? Or like, because Jess was talking about situationships, right? So if a girl's like, all right, I'm in the situationship with you, I have seen relationships now, right? They started out as situationships and they became relationships, right? Okay,
that's fair.
But it was because she was like, or he or whoever, either party was like, yo, I'm falling for you, right? How did they get there? Though she fell in love with who he was based on what he showed. Why did she pick him specifically? Maybe prior to that she didn't have that treatment, right? So it's not the man's fault, but you can't fault the women either because it's both of y'all.
Okay. But how do you know how much to give before they fall in love? Like how much do you know? Let me draw it back because.
Well, I think that's when communication comes into place. I think men also have to be more communicative with where they are in the stages of the situation. Because I don't think that it's fair to just point it on the women. I might want something.
What if we're in the stage where we started? What if cool, we want to communicate, but my stage hasn't changed and yours has. I still communicate that mine hasn't changed. It's out of nowhere. Like in my free time, I'm like, you know what? We're having a discussion.
Right.
My feelings haven't grown.
Right.
But yours have. So shouldn't you step up and say something? Or
absolutely. She should say, okay, well, you know what? I guess, let me not say she should say because it goes both ways, right? But in me personally, I have no problem communicating that. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean we're not on the same page? That's cool. It's fine. Whatever. Right. I'm sorry I can't do it then, right? Because we're not on the same page, and that's fine. I don't want to waste your time and your time. But there's some women who aren't communicative like that. Once again, it goes back to love languages.
I want to go back to what you said.
Yes.
You talked about like your boyfriend and you had to step your standards up. Where did you get this courage and this confidence from?
The Lord.
So it didn't come from you posting something on social media or somebody posting something of you or a like or a comment? It came from within is what I heard.
Yeah, it did. And it was a lot of self-work too. Because you have to be able to work on yourself. You have to, one thing I learned, in my job is my boss, she said to me one day, she was like, look at your friendship circle and ask yourself why you have these people in your lives. What is it about this person that connects with you, right? They're in your life because something within you connects with them. So I'm like, okay, let me look at my life, right? So I saw that this person might not be helping me elevate, right? They might be a toxic or they might be pulling me down or something. What is it about this person that I keep around, right? I had to self-work and be like, damn, this person has to go.
Yep.
It sucks and it hurts and sometimes it takes time, dude. Like it doesn't just come night and day. But I think once you start building that self-love and self-confidence and you start realizing that it comes from
self-love, self-confidence,
the Lord. Well, for me personally, I'm religious, right? It takes you to a different level and you start attracting what's meant for you.
Perfect. I agree. Now, if you're in this relationship and you really care about this person, you really, really, really care about this person, what does them posting anything on social media do? If you said you got all this confidence and this courage alone from God himself, what does social media do? That's my whole point. I feel like people aren't secure either with themselves or with their relationship, and social media says, hey, look, I have a boyfriend, I have a girlfriend, she's off limits. My whole argument is that I feel like people should be secure with themselves and with their partner, that you don't have to do that. And if you do, it's a choice.
Right.
Now, if you feel the need that, hey, I have to post this person over and over and over again so the world knows that she's with me or he's with me, they're not with you. That's my whole argument. Like, you don't. Social media doesn't validate your relationship. Your relationship does. Your heart, your spirit, your mind does.
The actions.
Exactly.
Real life actions.
So if I'm doing all these things for you, right? I open the door for you. You don't pay bills. You don't I don't put you on social media. It's we're not together. Like, that's what this whole conversation started with last time.
Right. Okay.
Social media. That's why I keep going back to social media.
Right. Okay. And let me ask you a question. So if somebody is sliding in your DMs, I'm just asking an example, right? And you're in a relationship, are you dismissing that person?
Read receipts are on.
Okay.
And I'm clicking on it and I'm going away.
Okay.
If I truly care
okay.
about this person,
that's fair.
because
Okay.
I'm not gonna be with someone if I don't want to be with them.
Right.
What's the purpose?
Okay, I hear what you're saying. I was just asking because I think that's another point too, right? Sometimes
I'm
women
tell you like, hey, I'm gonna tell you up front whether I want to really be with you or if hey I just want to get to know you.
But I also think, like I was saying earlier, right? Like I think that sometimes women want this because they don't like.
And you're gonna know when I care about you.
I think it might be that like maybe
they don't want that energy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like
well,
I know
they don't want. They may be like, what? They may be like posting people
because they're not posting their significant other.
They don't want. They don't want.
Other.
Like I'll be honest, when I used to post when I was in a relationship, nobody slid in my DMs. Nobody slid in my DMs. That was a fact. Now when I stopped, it was different. You know.
That's why. But, again, we got to be real, guys.
Right. Like, you know, and
on a women's on a women's POV, when they're in a relationship, and I brought this up with Jessica, she's losing followers. She's losing followers. Those followers are going to be men, which probably means her DMs are going to be on low. So there's like a real life reason for that.
Yeah.
Like that's why.
If you're concerned about someone sliding your girl's DM and taking her, you shouldn't be with her. It shouldn't be that easy.
Well, yeah. And if you can't handle, and if you
that's
can't,
what I'm saying. It should not be that easy.
Yeah, and if you can't handle
a DM, bro, come on, bro.
Yeah, I mean
that's what I'm saying. She got taken off of a winky face emoji.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna tell you something. I've seen cases where girls slid in business pages being like, "Hey, babe, can you do this for me? Hey, boo, can you do that for me? Hey, love, how you been?" Like,
my beats at half price.
I'm just saying, okay. That was a low blow. All I'm saying is that in that situation, right, a woman would like to like. And I'm just putting myself in that position, right? If someone was sliding in my man's DMs, constantly being like, "Hey, babe," or "Hey, this," or "Hey, that," or whatever, what are you doing? Like, make it be known. You know, either check her or post me. That's where it stands.
Posting isn't the. That's not the issue.
But listen. Right, it's not the answer. But I'm saying, right, it's not. But I'm saying, like,
would it help?
Because it's an action. For me, it's all about actions,
it's
right?
A signal. That's all. It means.
Let's go a layer deeper again. If you have to have that conversation because he's not handling his DMs right, he's not the right dude. Let's keep it simple. If he's responding to DMs and you don't like that, then you have a choice.
Yep.
You have a choice. Either because here's my thing, and this is what it goes back to. If I don't want to be with someone now, I'll take a step back. If we haven't had this conversation before, then it's like, all right, whatever. But if you guys are together, I would assume that you pre-vetted this guy so that he would know not to respond to DMs. But the problem is a lot of people aren't pre-vetting people. But let's go on to the next point. All right, he's responding to other girls. Then I would question, well, why am I staying with this guy if I have to prompt him to do something
constantly
that he doesn't want to do? If people are going to do what they want to do, if I have to say post me or check her, because this has happened to me. I said this last episode.
Yeah, it's happened to me.
I dealt with a girl who she did not know how to handle other guys' attention. I chose to stay with her, and I got cheated on. That is on me. I could say post me all day. I could say check this dude. I told her to check the dude. Yeah. Check dude. It doesn't matter. She wasn't the right person.
I think it also it's gradual too. You know what I mean? Like me, I was never the type to go through phones or anything like that, right? But like I was telling y'all earlier, actually, you know what? Let me stop right there. Earlier, you were talking about then that person's not the right person for you, right? It's so difficult to make that type of decision in the moment when you're already emotionally involved with this person, physically involved with this person, mentally involved with this person.
Which goes
and when we connect, hold up, right? When we connect on, like, I think for me, the line is physical. Once I'm physically involved with somebody, because I know how I'm carrying myself, it's a different type of time I'm on with you. You know what I mean? So if we're in a relationship and that happens, and okay, I see someone's going in your DMs, I ask them like, oh, hey, you know, like, or they don't do anything, and I see, you said it earlier, on a constant, I'm going to address it. And if I have to keep addressing it, then okay, then I'll reevaluate the relationship, right? But Nico asked me earlier, he said, what'd you say? I said greenie, right? Some men do not know how to hold relationships. Some men ask for coaching. Some men actually, let me not say that, men, boys, you have to coach them. And that's unfortunate. You know what I mean? But how do they learn? By being in the situations they're in. And unfortunately, sometimes we're sacrificed in that process.
Well, again, at that point, you have to make a decision. Do I want to, like,
put up with it?
Exactly.
and deal and be patient enough to deal with that?
Yeah. It's a choice.
But here's my thing. Don't slander the guy when it doesn't work out. Because you chose to stay.
That's true.
You can't have your expectations, like, especially if you guys talk about it in the beginning, like, this is what it is. And then you can't, like, if he's being nice to you and all that stuff, you just, I don't know. For me, I don't go into things with expectations.
Expectations lead to disappointments. Yeah.
You can have, and that's a great point. Standards are where you need to have, like, what you need to have.
You gotta have your own personal standards first. Let's start there.
Yeah.
Because Claudia, Katie, Jess, y'all aren't gonna be treated a certain way.
Right.
And that's due to standards.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah.
Which comes with personal growth.
Exactly. Personal growth, experiences, and all that amounts to, having certain standards and living by those standards.
And I really respect Claudia because she did what we talk about all the time, which is if something's not working, look at what I need to change first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I followed you on social media. I don't think I've ever seen you like post stuff on your story about how dudes suck. Maybe you have, I don't know. If you did, whatever, but
not yet.
Yeah, but it's like you looked inside and you were like, what do I need to change to attract what I need to attract?
Right.
And it was God for you. Other questions, situationship. That was a good question. Any question for us, ladies? Like, or I'm half of your friends. It can be whatever.
Nah.
I mean, we after dark, so you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
we can get the it
doesn't have to
a certain extent.
Yeah, I mean, when I say whatever, I mean, it can't be too crazy, but like just things that like you're like, man, why don't men do this, or why do men do this, or just or just questions about what we look for, whatever, like anything.
I don't know. I got some questions that people ask me to ask, but I don't know if they're appropriate.
Nah, ask them.
No.
Whoa. Nah, come on.
You might want to vet it.
Can you show us some?
While you're doing that, I do have a topic that I want to bring up, and this is something that I had to learn. And this is probably within the last year. We talked about standards, right? A second ago. I want to challenge people to think about, where do your standards derive from? Is it from social media? Is it from your family? Is it from your friends? Pop culture? Like where where do you get your standards from?
Oh, okay. I'm gonna be very transparent. So for me, it was stages of standards. So for me, when I was in high school, y'all gonna laugh. I swear y'all gonna laugh. It was surprisingly Disney movies. Disney movies really played a role in me growing up.
That's so common.
Yeah.
And
it was just like
that's so true, man.
Yeah, like
that's so true.
And I know that sounds really like lame, but it was true.
No,
like I used to like Ariel, but then everybody started saying I look like Moana, so I'm gonna go with Moana when I have curly hair.
On the low?
No,
okay,
I think I just look like her. I think I really do. Like with my curly hair, I think I look like Moana.
Okay.
Yeah.
That happens. That happens.
Yeah, but for me,
way too often. Like, what's the movie we watched? We talked about it on one of the episodes, but basically, the guy went overseas.
Y'all watched together.
Oh, what was that?
I forget.
It was based in like the 20s.
Yeah.
musician
God.
he goes to war.
Yeah, dude.
yeah.
She's in the female's engaged.
I
right?
need to look at it. 'Cause
Her
it's gonna
husband
bother
or her
me.
fiance is overseas at the war. Some young fresh cat comes in, and I mean, we all probably know what happens. They mess around and they end up getting married. No, they end up having a kid. I don't think they ever got married.
No,
but like it was perceived as like a love story, and I'm like, no, that's not a love story. She cheated on her fiance, and brought all this negativity and toxicness to her life, like Sylvia's love, yeah. And I'm seeing people tweet about this movie and stuff. Oh, what a great love story! What?
It's all in how you look at it.
No, there is no
That's
how you.
not a love story.
All right. No, Eric.
It's all in how you look at it. Go ahead.
Eric, let's flip it. A guy who's let's just flip the genders.
This was exactly my point.
Let's flip the genders.
That's exactly my point.
If you flip the genders, it's a Tyler Perry movie.
I'll go ahead with yours.
And
I'll tell you how I got here, bro.
Okay.
I'll tell you how I got here.
Okay.
But if you flip, I'm just saying the perception. I'm not saying it's impossible for love to happen that way. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm saying the perception is that that's a love story. If you flip the genders, a guy cheats on his wife with some girl, gets her pregnant. Would the same woman be saying, "Oh, that's a love story"?
No.
Heck no.
No.
Heck no.
No, and that was my whole. And that exactly.
No.
That was my whole point. Like why are we glorifying this type of stuff?
And I don't agree with the man cheating either. It's just
both ways.
I don't think it's glorified. I think it's just something that it is. Like, you can't tell me about a movie about a musician where that doesn't happen. Ray Charles.
Is it right?
I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying it's on how you look at it.
It's become
for some
normalized.
People, that relationship was their pinnacle, and for somebody else, they lost.
That
was it.
I don't think.
I'm just saying
my little niece should look at that as a love story.
Somebody stepped
and
out
be like, oh, like
maybe somebody that you love or you know, and out of that, they met somebody else, and now I'm here. Now, is that a win, or is it not a win? Or is it, is it something that beautiful came out of a relationship, even though somebody else got left in the dust? Depends on how you look at it.
It's not, again, we're not saying that love can't happen and nothing good can come out of it. We're talking about the perception that that's love, whereas if you flip the genders, that's not going to be seen as love. That dude is going to get crucified.
Destroyed.
He's gonna get crucified. That's our point.
And this cancel culture.
His growth.
But
that's not his the guy in the war.
No, I'm saying like
that's not his fault.
Now he's gonna look at it and be like, okay, I guess I gotta have these standards going forward. I gotta trust these people going forward. I gotta do this going forward.
Well, let's get back to the whole standards thing, right? Because you were talking about.
No. So it started off that way for me, right? But then I had a powerful encounter with the Lord when I was 18, and then after that I was like, okay, this is cool, but no, I'm not ready yet. When I was 19, I gave my life to Christ, and I was like, okay, slowly but surely I started realizing what love was. However, right, in my first relationships as a follower of Christ, I was the toxic one, because I had not released all the resentment, all the shackles that held me back for so long, right?
It's not a light switch.
Right, it's not. And, we were talking earlier about trauma. The trauma had a big effect on how I viewed men. To me, I was the alpha female. You were not going to come and tell me what to do.
Yeah,
you were not going to.
Remember.
Yeah.
You were always cool with me.
Yeah.
But you had a little.
Since middle school. Yeah.
You remember the Proud Family?
Oh my God.
You had a little La Cienega. You had a little La Cienega thing going on, okay? You kind of look like La Cienega too. On the love.
I'm going to take that to the heart. But no, seriously.
I know.
She was fly.
She was a cool girl. She was tough. La Cienega was tough.
But seriously, like, to me, oh my God.
Yeah, what kind of name is La Cienega?
It was the name of a street. It was the name of a street.
It's a real name.
It was a street. Yeah.
You like it?
She did have big feet though.
Yeah, she did. I got little feet, so I didn't.
She had them flippers.
Yeah,
that's all right.
Yeah.
But
that's okay with you?
Nah, that ain't all right.
No, but in all honesty, right, that's how it was. And so it took a lot of, you know, for me personally, it took me actually losing a really good relationship, a relationship that till this day I don't want to say I glorify, but I'm like, okay, this is the standard of a man I know I can attract, right? And it took that for me to be like, there's something wrong with me, right? Because if I push something so good away because of how I was acting, how I was talking, how I was being, like, man, when I tell you I wouldn't even let him pay for my food. Like, that is how, I'm like, no man's gonna pay for my food. Like, I got my own money. My mother was, you know, she was very alpha, very dominating. Like, when I was growing up, when we used to rent rooms in the house, it was with men. Like, I never saw a woman in the house. It was me and my mother always. And being around all that, I'm like, okay, you know what? Like, I got this. And they would toughen me up. They'd be like, no, don't let boys do this and don't let boys do that. I'm like, okay, you know. But I think it as a woman, it worked against me. You know, as a child, it worked for me because I was able to protect myself from a lot, you know. But as a woman, I realized, okay, I need to stop. So for me, it took a lot of just digging really deep. But the problem was that I think a lot of people forget that when you serve the Lord and you love so selflessly, we have to remember that we have to set boundaries. When I went into my following relationship after that, I was like, all right, I'm ready. I'm ready to love this person wholeheartedly, to give them everything. And I did. I went above and beyond. Like, I'm talking about, I swagged him up. He had everything. But I was reliving that trauma. Why was I attracted to this person? Because they took me back to that little girl that never fully healed. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So eventually, once again, it took a lot of dig deeping inside of me to be like, okay, this needs to change, right? So for me, the standard went on to God. That's really what set the standard for from here on out in life and everything. It was just my relationship with the Lord. But it took a lot of bad situations for me to get that. Yeah. Because I glorified relationships through Disney. Oh, the Prince Charming is going to come and save me one day. But not with this alpha mentality. Right.
That's a very common thing, man.
But it is very common, yeah.
Prince Charming. And,
yes. You know, when I was...
And that's what I was really getting at with that Sylvia's Love movie. Like, that stuff isn't... That's not what we should be looking up to.
Yeah, and you know, when I got Homecoming Princess in high school... I was like, oh yeah, I'm the princess now, you know, like it came true for me in my mind, right? But I didn't have a Prince Charming to share it with.
I'm gonna challenge the men though, because a lot of girls see like those the real love stories in movies. We don't have a lot of good examples of men acting right.
100, yeah, I agree with you.
In
on
the
that.
media,
Definitely. I agree with you on that.
Most music, doesn't matter what genre, country. Rap, rock, whatever, pop. They talk about cheating. Movies. How many faithful men are in movies? Like, legit. Not that many. So, I think it works against us.
Yeah.
Yep. In a lot of ways. Because, you know, we can say, oh, man, the women, they get all, you know, dreamy and stuff when they see these other movies. Well, I don't think we see enough of men acting right.
I agree with
you.
you.
In sports,
occasionally. I think
you see what in sports?
In sports, you see role models of sports. It's like LeBron, Russell Wilson.
Again.
Like there are sports figures who
but
are.
We don't.
This is my
We don't know what's going on behind. We're talking about like movies, pop culture.
You don't know those people in Hollywood like that. Yeah, but there
Russell
are examples.
Yeah.
It's just they're not publicized.
Hey, and that's my
it's
point.
Not hot.
I stand Russell Wilson holding it down for the Black Kings, man. He holding it down for us.
Light skin too.
But I'm not gonna be like.
There's some good dark skin brothers out here.
Dark skin brothers,
but I'm not gonna be like.
Look, y'all had the '90s. We in the early 2000s. Okay, the dark skin brothers. Yeah. You seen Black Panther? We back, baby.
All I'm gonna say is Drake, bro.
It's very corny, but yeah, I need that. But
Drake ain't faithful.
But Johnson had vacation, bro. Cedric the Entertainer was trying to get. That's a strong black man.
Hey, that's a good one. But yeah, the athletes, I can't because that there's a lot of athletes that aren't fit.
You know, Marshall, I really like
That's
that you
not the
brought that
best
up
industry.
because earlier you were saying how, people look up to social media gurus, right? For me personally, I understood that early on, and with like my kids, when I asked you guys to come, it's because I know that in the media, there's not a good role model that I want my kids that I work with, right, that are high risk, to look up to. Now, they still glorify them, right? But I think when you show them that there's people that look like y'all, that can do what they probably have done before, or maybe they excelled in sports and did something with their lives, I think that's a positive way to change and undo that mentality that's so instilled in their lives at such a young, early age.
Yep.
And that's why, like, what you said earlier, they're not publicized often. I actually had the honor of meeting Mariano Rivera, the New York Yankees.
Greatest closer
yes.
of all time.
And but I thank the Lord. This is all for the Lord. I got to pray for him and his family and everything. Wow. He came to give a youth conference to us, and I remember his message was so powerful. But the fact that, like, the one thing that I remember my pastor said to the men, right? She was like, this is a man who made it happen being a follower of God, right? Stayed away from the public of media and was still faithful to his wife throughout the entire time. Morris Chestnut, I love that they, like, you know, they don't talk about him enough, but I think that, like, he's so attractive to me. And
dark skinned brother, Nico.
Don't get me wrong. I love my light skins too. I love my light skins too. But I'm using him as an example because you don't hear Morris Chestnut in a lot of drama.
I've heard that. I've heard that
right.
too.
You know, you don't hear Morris Chestnut in a lot of
take
drama. So it's like
Is
they're.
he married?
He is. Yeah. You know, or Denzel Washington. That's another one too.
Who is he married? Pharrell.
Yeah, I remember. Pharrell. Yeah, he's another one as well.
But again, I think those are all, they seem like great examples and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But for me personally, I'm not going to be like, you know, you need to follow everything he's doing because Deshaun Watson is a perfect case. Yeah. I thought he was flawless.
Model citizen.
Like, he's giving back to the community. You don't hear nothing bad about him. And boom.
He got an evil hairline.
You can't trust nobody with that hairline.
With the M. If you
got the M, for real.
You said the hairline gave it away.
Like, for real. Like, it's like, yo, like, what we need to understand is, like, we're human.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these people are human. They're going to make mistakes.
Yeah, we talked about Kurt Franklin last week.
Kurt Franklin, like, y'all heard him, no pun intended, kirking out on his son.
Yeah.
So, like, we can't get too caught up in this stuff. Like,
right.
I put LeBron on a high pedestal because what he's showing us, you know, he's a man of high character. But if there's a scandal out that comes out and that kind of, you know, hurts his character, it's not going to affect me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And it shouldn't.
You're a Kobe guy. We all know. I hate to bring it up. You know, rest in peace.
Yeah, we know what he did.
But, you know, Kobe had his shortcomings.
I mean, David in the Bible had his shortcomings. You know what I mean? So, it's not we're a holier than thou thing. It's just...
I've had my own...
We've all have shortcomings. So, you know, like you said, it's just keep everything in perspective.
It's a balance.
And I did want to talk real quick about my own personal journey with standards because I based it a lot on what people said you should want in a partner, people who I respected. And a lot of it was around, you need someone, especially for me, like I'm a very goal-driven, like ambitious dude. And not that like this is... what's what I'm looking for. Not that I'm saying I can't be with someone this way, because I need to be with someone who has goals. But I used to think I needed to find someone who's just like me. That's what I used to think. People used to tell me that. You know, you need to find someone who's, you know, X, Y, and Z, blah blah blah. And I was basing my standards on
your own standards.
On my standards for myself. Now that's not always a bad thing. But my point is, I had to take a step back and realize who would be a compliment to me.
Exactly.
Like what there are certain levels of
balance,
hierarchy that I have. Faith number one.
Yeah. is
I don't care how we vibe. If we're not on the same level from a faith perspective,
no chance.
There's zero chance.
No chance.
Zero chance. Mentality next.
Character,
values, character. How we look at life. Now I think there needs to be agreement on like, how we look at certain things in life. We don't have to agree on everything, but physical is the last. I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to be cocky or anything like that. I have the girls that I have dated, like I've been in 3 serious relationships. They weren't the most they were attractive, but they weren't the most attractive girl I could have gotten, if that makes sense. Like I wasn't basing me dating her on, she's the baddest girl I could get.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So physical stuff has always been lower on the priority level.
That should be the.
When you're younger, it's harder to think that way.
I struggled.
And it matters. Don't get me wrong. Like you need to be attracted to that person, but
that can't be the end all be all.
Nah. But my standards shifted, man, the last year because I went through a breakup, literally like a year ago, like to the day.
Today.
Almost something like that.
Yeah.
Almost. Yeah. It was early April, late March. And I look back and I'm like, even though I know like we still weren't the right fit for one another, I would have treated her differently and appreciated who she was more had I not had this
different
mindset. This is who and because I'll be honest, I'm putting myself out there. Like my other 2 relationships before that, I was the one who was done wrong and not treated the right way. And not that I didn't treat my last ex the right way, but it was the first time where I'm like, man, she's like, I'm in the wrong more than she is. I wasn't used to that.
Trauma.
And
trauma.
And that's why I goes back to what I said earlier. Are you prepared to be treated right? Because she was the first girlfriend who treated me right. And that's also part of why I stayed as long as I did when I probably shouldn't have.
You talked about it. A lot of people fall in love with the treatment.
That is true.
The treatment. Because, like you guys alluded to, this might be the first guy who's ever treated you right and respected you a certain way and met your standards.
Right. Mm-hmm. So when I talked about people being emotional, I've experienced this myself. It's not just a woman thing. I'm just saying women typically are more likely to stay in situations longer than men do.
That's true.
And when I took a step back and I was logical, because I had to get to the point where like we both were like, all right, this is gonna work, right? Which your relationships, you don't want to do that. You don't want to wait till it's like that bad to end it. But I after that, I really went and like wrote out like, what do I need in a partner? Like, what do I want? And I had to remove the standards that were placed upon me or that I inherited from other people, because it can make you treat someone who is treating you right, whether they're right for you or not, the wrong way.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's their view of what you should be.
Elaborate on that?
They're setting an expectation you can't fulfill. You got to do it for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a balance, because there are situations where someone is like that friend who keeps it real, and they're like, yo, that's not the one for you, right? And they may be right. So it's not that you don't listen to other people. When it comes to your standard and who's going to be a match for you, a lot of that's going to come through trial and error, right? Like, you got to go through stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually not the first person. But you also have to have the introspection to go back and actually say, look, what went wrong? What do I need? What don't I need? Because, again, I think a lot of people's standards are too heavily based on the wrong things, which leads to someone not appreciating the right person because they don't live up to this standard that isn't really theirs anyway. So
I think we had another question. This should probably be the last one.
Yeah, and then we'll wrap up.
Okay, so she asked, why do men use women's emotions and vulnerabilities to have sex with them and then ghost them when they could have had sex with no strings attached?
I think this was asked last week.
Was it?
Was it?
Maybe it was after the pod.
Yeah,
Right.
I think it was after.
Oh. Yeah.
Can you say that one more time?
Why do men use women's emotions and vulnerability to have sex with them, then ghost them when they could have had sex with them with no strings attached?
It's whack. I have zero.
Yeah.
You're whack.
Sure.
It means either you don't have game. Because I know I have teammates, people that I hoop with. They would nah, for real. Like they could. I'm being honest. They had to literally act like they wanted to date someone to get them to that point. Mm-hmm. Like dudes who would tell girls they love them type stuff. I'm like, bro, you're wilding. Like you are wilding. They didn't have game.
Nico, you know dudes be saying the wildest stuff.
They didn't. I mean, it sounds bad because it sounds bad that they don't. I mean, I'm saying, you don't have enough game to just get them to do it without. You guys get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But they didn't have. They didn't have.
They're reaching.
Yeah, I mean, they just like there are guys who they play the friend card all the time just to sneak in. They can't directly say, "Hey, I'm feeling you. What's good?" Mm-hmm. They have to go do back door. So it's whack.
So do you think that's an insecurity thing?
Yes.
For a man? Okay.
Yes.
So,
yes.
So men are insecure as well.
People are
big time.
Okay. I just wanted y'all to say it. I just wanted y'all to say it.
Yeah.
I just wanted y'all to say
Again,
it.
Yes.
we're human, guys.
I just wanted y'all to say it.
When I went, you go back to last episode.
That's easy. Yeah.
No, because the last conversation was women are more insecure. So I understand the context. I know the context. I'm saying that women are insecure. Let me.
We didn't say women are more insecure.
No,
we might have used the word emotional.
We said
emotional or insecure.
We said women make more decisions based on emotion.
Yeah.
And insecure.
No.
You guys did throw insecure in there.
No. Time out.
Who threw insecure in there?
More insecure than others.
No, I know. My bad for using the word more.
We said that. We said that when Katie
Women.
was talking about wanting to be validated on social media.
There's deeper.
We said there's insecurities behind.
I'm throwing fire.
Yeah. We never.
I'm throwing fire.
We got the receipts now.
Yeah, come on now.
Men, I mean.
No, but
I would argue and say men are more insecure than women in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I mean, I know. I mean, here's the thing, and I said this. I think we talked about this last time, and a lot of this is a mental health issue that men just struggle with. We're better at hiding it because we're raised that way, right? Men need to go to therapy.
Yes,
Facts.
I agree with you.
Men need to go to therapy. We all need to go to therapy.
Mm-hmm. Who will listen?
A therapist. That's what therapy is. Men need to go to therapy. No, and like, I think that
that's a real thing. I mean,
go ahead.
Our father, they kind of compliment, but he won't marry a couple until they do some sort of counseling.
Yeah, marriage counseling. Yeah.
Like he won't. Like if Eric were to ask my dad to marry him and his fiance, well, you got to do counseling.
Yeah.
No, my mom suggests though, because she always says this. You individually need to go
and then
get counseling.
Yes.
You know, because we all have trauma. We all have things that we have to deal with. But men in particular, you know, emotion and expressing them is soft.
Yep.
You know, it's considered soft, and I think that it's courageous in a way, in a lot of ways, to be able to express yourself and speak what's on your mind. There's a courage thing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So
I'm gonna get a fella the little cheat code. Women like that.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Yeah,
and also,
women like that.
and I'm gonna give y'all even more, right? Using I statements. I know that sounds kind of corny, but it's so important when you say I feel and I think this, because in that moment you're breaking the normality of projecting your energy or somebody else's behavior onto that person. So if I say, Jessica, I think you're beautiful, right? I'm owning that compliment that I'm giving you instead of saying, Jess, you're beautiful.
It does sound different.
You see the difference?
Yeah.
There's
a personal touch.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's ownership to that. There's ownership. And when men take ownership of their feelings, I feel like that helps them excel in life and relationships and mental. You know what I mean? Because you guys, you know, like y'all need it too.
Yeah.
You know, we got each other, but who do y'all talk to?
We're gonna end with this, but don't be like Derek Jackson.
No, go ahead.
Don't be like Derek Jackson. Derek Jackson.
I was like, what?
So I was like, be very tactful.
No. I'm never gonna put no one on blast. I said, don't be like Derek Jackson and these guys. Take that cheat code and manipulate women with it.
Man, yes.
Because a lot of guys,
I agree.
who they're able to do that stuff, they realize like, oh,
this works.
Mm-hmm. So just have integrity, man. Have integrity. Be honest. And this goes on both sides, because one of my pet peeves is going back to what you're talking about, Andrew, with the stages, right? How do I know what stage we're in? It's happened to me. I'm thinking we're on one stage, and then all of a sudden, the smallest thing turned into a paragraph text of all these thoughts and feelings. I'm like, where the heck did this come from?
Where is this coming from?
What are we?
That's so funny.
And it's like a lot of
Again, I'm cool with the where are we. But
what are we was last
like that needs to happen before. That needs to happen before you send me the Proverbs chapter.
Yeah. Man will let you know when he's ready.
No, we gotta ask that question.
Well, you're not gonna get the answer.
If you have to ask, you already know.
And if you have to ask, you already know.
Because y'all will be like lovey-dovey.
Or maybe we need clarification.
If you have to ask, you should already know by now.
Talking to, that's the thing too. I don't know what kind of men y'all talking to.
I think you asked me.
I gotta vet these dudes, man. Like, what I'm saying? But that was a good episode.
Yeah, man, we had 3 hours.
Nah.
Okay,
it's
it's
like 2.
We started at 10.
10:30. No, 9:30. 9:30.
Yeah, it's hot in here, man. We said
It's hot.
We said it was gonna get hot.
Like this wine.
We gotta get some feedback from our followers, man, on these topics.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
definitely,
we gotta go live. We gotta go on live. We gotta go on IG live. And we got we gotta get some more feedback. Tap some people in, but Claudia, we appreciate you coming. Jessica, we appreciate you coming. Casey, Andrew, Nick, Russ, Nip, as always. And look, people spoke. Andrew, I can see Andrew's neck vein. His forehead vein was popping a couple times. I did want to say something.
He got triggered a little bit.
I'm glad he finally said something.
He got triggered a little bit.
Like, yeah, Andrew, talk to him, man.
Lock in.
Yeah, man. Northern Virginia's best photographer, videographer, man. Shout out to Andrew, man. Look, man, it's 11:38 on Friday, and I feel good, man. But it's time to clock out. So, yeah, have a blessed week, man. And we forgot to do one thing. March clocking MVP.
Oh, true.
Yeah,
you got the name.
Yeah, so it's crazy, man. We actually have never met. I don't even know if we've even gone through an IG conversation with this person. But the connection is through Pedro Gowans. Is that Gowans? Is that how you pronounce it? Our first clocking MVP ever out in the UK. He tagged her. I think she's in, I want to say Spain or something, but she's in Europe, and consistent. Like from the time she got tagged by Pedro, she's been clocking in on a regular basis, and she hasn't met us. She doesn't know us. So other than Emily, this is the first or second clocking MVP that we've never met, and that's to no other than Monica Feriana.
Monica. She posted a crazy shot, and I had to applause to your effort, because she when people will post a picture of the back of the shoe, I'm just like, you definitely put an effort for that. You had to prop the phone a certain way. Shout out to you, man, because you better than me.
I don't got that much patience.
I know it took you multiple takes too.
So that's why you got clocking MVP, just for that. But
exactly.
We appreciate you clocking in with us, Monica. We're gonna reach out, get your information so we can get you an MVP shirt. But keep clocking in. And hopefully we meet one day. We got this Lifetime Championship coming up Sunday. Just
be quiet.
Just don't say much to us, please.
Just be quiet.
It won't turn out well. By the time this episode comes out, we'll be champs. But
facts.
Yeah, man. Another great episode.
Yes, sir.
Y'all clock in with us, man, and appreciate y'all, man. Let's get it.
Peace. Have a good weekend, y'all.
Straight up and down.
We're taking off, man. Taking off the new heights.
That's how it is, man.
We on our rustle, our grind and our hustle.
Let's have this rock a little bit, man. If y'all made it this far. Yeah, y'all made it this far.
Okay. You was like calming me down.
Mic check.
You gotta go on, man. You gotta go on.
We put in work and here's the proof. What you want?
I'm making moves, punching in.
I'm on it too.
I'm in the gym.
I'm in the stew.
It's hunting season.
Where's the food?
We push each other daily, level up.
Cause that's what brothers do.
Clock in.